Hi friends, time for another story.
And it's the moment y'all been waiting for. Finally, I get to share one of my stories. This one involves the organization that we actually work under as missionaries. The organization is called L3 International. L3 is 3 L's, the least, the lost, and the last. And it's an international missions organization. A lot of work that started going into like third world countries, the 1040 window, if you're familiar with that, where the least and lost and the last people on earth are there, that people have over the years just not paid much attention to because of the countries they're not valued to the rest of the world or whatever reason. Christians have started recognizing them and going to those countries. And so that's where L3 International is in the world. A lot of different African countries they're a part of, Brazil, Myanmar, and so forth. I was with them on a crusade trip. They do a lot of crusade evangelism aside from prison ministries, orphanages, Bible schools, things like that in third world countries. It's quite impressive. It's very impressive, and it's like sometimes I wish I could just go everywhere with them all the time, but the Lord has given us a certain directive that we do with fine arts and other ministries that we're involved with, that we've started up. So that's where we're at. But I was out there with them in Tanzania one year, and we're doing these crusades. I say we, but I wasn't even coordinating or nothing. I was just part of prayer teams and helping to do different evangelism in village communities around the main city, which wasn't much of a city, but it was where they were at. We're in Babati, actually, and so I'm there one night, and the sun's going down, the crusade's over, everyone's being prayed for in the field. They take these fields, they mow them down with sickles. Actually, there's no mowers. They chop them down with their hand. They clear the field, and they have these crusades, and the stage is ran by generators and things, so they can have sound amplified. But at the end of the night, the sun goes down, and it's dark. That field gets real dark real fast. And so I'm making sure that the rest of the teams that we have out there get gathered up and get put onto the bus so we can get back to where our host place is. And I'm rushing through to get, the sun's going down and everyone's getting on the bus already. This young gal, there was a YWAM team out there with us, and she sees me and says, "Hey Bill, come help me pray for this little girl." And I said, "No, we need to get on the bus. They're already on the bus. The sun's going down. It's getting dark. We need to get moving through the crowd." And these crusades you've probably seen on television, where you do these crusades in these third world countries, and they get packed full of thousands of people. And that's where we're at, on this field full of thousands of people. And this little girl is there with her mother, and this other gal that's part of YWAM, I can't remember this lady's name, but she's like begging me to pray for this little girl. And I said, and in my mind I'm thinking, fine, I'll just say a prayer. We gotta get out of here. So I go over to this little girl, and her legs are like all bent inwards. She can't walk. She's basically crippled, and she can't walk. If she does try to walk, she's just hobbling, and she can't really go very far. And so I pray and ask the Lord, heal this little girl. And then I was like, okay, and I tell this YWAM student, let's go. So we take off, and this little girl comes kind of wobbling over towards me, and I turn around, I go, "Hey, no, you need to go back to your mother." And I pick her up to set her down, and then I realized, wait, I think she just walked towards me. So I went to walk away again, and she started running towards me. And I was like, wait a minute. So I picked her up and I walked her back over to her mother again. I sat her on the ground and I told her to stay there for a second. And I ran as fast as I could to get away from her. And there was these big cables, these electric cables running through the field. And I ran to the other side of the cable. And this little girl comes running, jumps over the cable, and then jumps into my arm. And I was just like, wow, you know, she was healed. And her mom, I look over at her mom, and her mom's just crying. And I was like, what just happened? And I couldn't believe it that I didn't even, I mean, I have faith to see people healed. But at that moment, I was just like not wanting to spend time to do this. But the Lord knew, like, if you stop and do this, I am going to heal this girl. And so he did. He completely healed that girl, and she's running around this field. I mean, she had a little bit of a wobble, but she was straight. Her legs were straight. They weren't like crippled over anymore, and she was running around. So I thought, okay, that really kind of changed my perspective on how God actually operates and what he expects from us. And, you know, like Jesus said, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, then you can move mountains. And it was kind of one of those moments, you know. That was about the size of my bite, I know.
That's so amazing. And you know, I wasn't even on that trip.
Oh no, she didn't go over there.
But I had the privilege to be praying for my husband at
Thank
home.
you.
And that's what you can do for us too, is please, whatever, we need your prayers, you know, for these kind of things. And that's why God moves, is because of our prayers and your prayers. And so yeah, thank you for your prayers.
Yeah, and we'll be praying for you too. Just let us know what those prayer requests are, and yeah, you know, when the thing too is, like, we do so many things out of faith, and some of that is just us faithfully going about to different countries, like Africa, and all of that costs money, and we just by faith know that people like you are going to help us with that. And we have monthly supporters, and if that's something that you thought about in the past and you have never done it before, then please, you know, reach out to us, or you can easily go online and sign up to be a monthly financial supporter for us. But you know, this time of year, a lot of you are feeling like, I would like to be able to support Bill and Julia. Well, please do. You can go online and you could do it like that. And, you know, if you go to honourmissmissions.org and go to the give or the year-end gift page there, it gives you real easy, simple instructions on different ways that you can give, you know, through online, credit card, or writing a check. You know, those are all that information's there. And if you got any more questions about that, if you're curious about it, just reach out to us, please. Let us know. Like I said, you know, at the beginning of this little video, everything runs through L3 International. They're the parent for us, and that's where we get funded through them. So anyway, there's that.
Yeah,
just
we can't do it without you.
Yeah, no,
Definitely.
it's everything
You're part
we
of
do
this.
is from friends and family,
Yes.
people like you that have been able to just faithfully help us out through this stuff, and so that you can hear some of these stories as well. And we hope to continue to have many more of these great stories to tell for years and years to come. Yeah, we will get with you here in a little bit, and we'll have another story for you, right? God bless.